Hi everyone, it's Julie from sproutsandstems.com here. In this evening's video, we are going to be talking about some string of hearts tips. Tips to grow a beautiful, healthy, luscious string of hearts. It's a cozy December Thursday evening. It's going to be a little plant and chill talk. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new planty content from me. And now we'll get into the tips to grow a beautiful string of hearts. So I've had this string of hearts for a few years now. It was probably like here when I got it, and now it's all tangled and it's like looped around itself. So this doesn't even really show how long it is, but it's pretty long. It got a lot more like full on the bottom. It's a little bit leggy on top. Tip number one is bright indirect light. If they don't get enough light, the hearts might grow really small and measly and sad looking, and the strings will get all leggy, which means you'll have big chunks of vine without any leaves on it. So plenty of bright indirect light, not direct light because you don't want the hearts to burn in the sunshine, but bright indirect light. And don't forget to also make sure the top of the plant gets light too, otherwise it'll go bald. It'll be all just bare vine up here and all the leaves will be down here. So make sure the whole thing gets light. Tip number two, if you have a string of hearts plant in front of you and you kind of like gently just squeeze a leaf, even though the hearts are like overall flat, you can feel they're kind of like plump with water. So the leaves are succulent-like. And that means they don't really need to be watered that often because they store water. That means you can let the potting mix totally dry out in between waterings. And this is a pretty loose potting mix. It's probably 50-50 perlite and just regular potting mix. So very well drained, very loose. It doesn't stay wet for long at all, which is what you want. My third tip is don't rush to repot string of hearts. Oh, so pretty, so beautiful. String of hearts and other string of plants have very small, shallow root systems, very tiny, delicate roots. You can repot your string of hearts plant every couple of years or so just to refresh the potting mix. In terms of like actual space and the roots themselves, they're not very big at all. You could technically leave it in the same pot for a long time, space-wise, but it is good to give the plant some fresh potting mix every few years or so. But you don't need to rush to repot. You don't need to repot every single year because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and you don't want to cause your plant unnecessary stress by repotting it all the time. My fourth tip for a beautiful, glorious string of hearts is you can make the top fuller by laying the strings over the top of the pot. You don't even have to cut the strings off the plant to like officially propagate it. You can literally just take, and this is kind of hard because you can literally just take this and kind of like flop it over. You want to like nestle it down a little in the potting mix so that the nodes where the leaves are growing from are in contact with the potting mix. Eventually it'll sprout new roots that way down to the potting mix, and your plant will be nice and full on top. This actually is looking a little bare on top, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that with one of these long strings. Coil it up kind of. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. We'll see. If you need help like securing the strings into the potting mix, you can use bobby pins or paper clips, and I'm trying to find, because I'm pretty sure I've done one in here before. Ooh, exciting. Okay, you might not be able to see, but there's a bobby pin right here that I used a while ago to pin down a few new vines into the potting mix. So You can give your string of hearts the illusion of it being a fuller plant quickly by just pinning the strings to the top. But then eventually it will actually become a fuller plant because those strings will grow new roots down into the soil. And my last string of hearts tip, or I guess tidbit I would say, is if you have these white balls along the plant, you might be wondering, what the heck is that? Is my plant like okay? I have a big one right there. There's a few. But that actually means that you're doing an amazing job. So if you see these random white balls, don't worry. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Those are aerial tubers and you can use them for easy propagation. There's a few that are like down in the soil, but you like literally can't see it because it looks like just a piece of perlite. That's where new strings will sprout from. So although you can propagate string of hearts without one of these tubers, like just using strings, having a tuber on a string will make propagation easier, faster, higher success rate. If you have these, that means you're doing a really good job because the plant wants to reproduce, basically. It knows it's doing well. And you can cut off a string with a tuber on it and nestle it so the tuber is either down buried in the soil or like just on top. Again, you can use the bobby pin method, or you don't even have to cut it off. Like I said before, you can just kind of flip a string over, pin it down so that the tuber is in contact with the potting mix. And that is a really great way to have even more strings of hearts. So those are my 5 tips to grow a full and healthy, beautiful string of hearts plant. This plant is really low maintenance. I honestly ignore it a lot, even though it's one of my favorite plants. Not even out of all the plants I own, just in general, string of hearts is probably one of my favorite plants. I do ignore it a lot because it's so low maintenance and it honestly likes when I ignore it. So yeah, this plant is super easy. If you see on social media plant influencers who are growing gigantic, huge, long string of hearts and you think, oh my God, I can't possibly do that. You can do that. And I'm telling you right now, you can do it. All it really needs is bright indirect light, water when dry. Yeah, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of string of hearts. If you like them, if you don't like them, if you've had success with them, if you haven't had success with them, if there's another string of plant that you like better than string of hearts. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I will see you soon. Please subscribe for more planty content and have a good night.